us enter into worship with the words of Amanda Schubert. If this is your first time here, or your 101st time, we are glad you are here. If you carry the weight of a weary world on your shoulders, or you entered through the doors with a song in your heart and a skip in your step, we are glad you are here. If you are the loudest voice in the town square, or the subtle hands behind the scenes, we are glad you are here. If you have failed once or 1,000 times, we are glad you are here. If you sing like angels or mumble behind the hymnal, we are glad you are here. This community is what it is because of your presence. So welcome. Welcome into this space of love, support, justice, compassion, fellowship, and worship. We are glad you are here. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join our voices in opening hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. Please remain standing as Lynn Schaefer lights our chalice with words from Katie Silvani Gilfond. We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. Oops, you're supposed to be doing this.
I am.
Oh, would you like to? Okay, I was really getting into it. Okay. No wonder I didn't practice these words. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end. For we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning. It's time for our story for all ages. I invite you all to gather around to hear a special story called I Wish You More. And it's by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Tom Lichtenheld. I wish you more ups than downs. I wish you more give than take. I wish you more tippy toes than deep. I wish you more we than me. I wish you more hugs than Uggs. I wish you more woohoo than whoa. I wish you more will than hill. I wish you more can than not. I wish you more snowflakes than tongue. I wish you more pause than fast forward.
For some reason, I cannot hear Cathy. Turn up volume.
I wish you more umbrella than rain. I wish you more bubbles than bath. I wish you more treasures than pockets. I wish you more stories than stars. I wish all of this for you, because you are everything I could wish for. And more. Thanks for listening. Seated for our prayer hymn, number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. In the silence that follows the spoken prayer, you are invited to come forward and light a candle for any joys or concerns you hold in your heart this morning. This morning, we lift up the family and loved ones of Inga Hyder. Inga passed away on Thursday, April 10th at Howard County Hospital. Inga was a beloved friend of Channing for many years, who frequently attended on Zoom. At age 95, Inga was at peace with dying. She passed quietly and peacefully with her children at her side. Our spoken prayer this morning is by Darcy Elizabeth Hedvig Lane and Mary Gregolia. Spirit of life, we hold in our hearts all who are in the second half of life, those who aspire to move from aging to saging. We breathe with those whose hearts have been broken open, that we may continue to grow in love. We breathe with all who have been disappointed, that we may continue to dream. We breathe with all who no longer find delight in the activities of our youth, that they might find new delights. We breathe with those who live with daily pain, that we might find comfort and strength to greet each day anew. We breathe with those experiencing new limits in the body, grieving the loss of what we once could do, held by the body's possibilities still with us. We breathe with those whose fire is running low. May we open to the spark of inspiration and new life. May our journeys of aging and awakening together be a blessing. May it be so, and amen. I light a candle for the joys and concerns of those beloveds joining us virtually. And I light a candle for all else that we hold in our hearts and our minds this morning. If your heart is hurting, know that your community is here to help, as is Pastor Laura. Please reach out with any needs.
Our offering this morning is inspired by the words of Kristen Collins. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. For those of you watching the service online, you may contribute to a virtual offering plate using the donate button on our website or by mailing a check to the church office. I invite the ushers forward to receive the offering. I invite Ostara Hollyoak to introduce this month's special collection.
I'm here this morning to talk about this month's special collection on behalf of the Special Collections team. First, a little blast from the recent past. We sent $173 to the UUC Food Insecurity Program from our merch special collection. This month's collection will go to Bridges for Housing Stability, whose mission is to provide a path to self-sufficiency to prevent and end homelessness through affordable housing solutions and advocacy in Howard County, Maryland. Their website states, Bridges believes that housing is the key to a household's stability. Whether resolving the issue of homelessness or preventing a household from becoming homeless, our goal goes beyond crisis intervention. Our approach and mission focuses on long-term housing stability for our target populations. Our contributions to Bridges will be put to good and needed use. If you're making a contribution by check, please make it out to Channing Memorial Church and put Bridges in the memo line. And for those of you who might be wondering about the event that netted us those coveted trophies last year, Bridges is not hosting a Beans and Bags event this year. Thank you very much.
For all that you give and all that you do for our church and its wider concerns, we give thanks. Hear the words of Anne Lamott. It's It's funny, I always imagined when I was a kid that adults had some kind of inner toolbox full of shiny tools. The saw of discernment, the hammer of wisdom, the sandpaper of patience. But then when I grew up, I found that life handed you these rusty, bent old tools. Friendships, prayer, conscience, honesty, and said, do the best you can with these. They will have to do. And mostly, against all odds, they do. The words of Annie Dillard. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. What we do with this hour and that one is what we are doing. A schedule defends from chaos and whim. It is a net for catching days. It is a scaffolding on which a worker can stand and labor with both hands at sections of time. A schedule is a mock-up of reason and order, willed, faked, and so brought into being. It is a peace and a haven set into the wreck of time. It is a lifeboat on which you find yourself, decades later, still living. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 1002 in the Teal hymnal, Comfort Me.
What a pleasure to be back in the pulpit for the third time. Let me pause here for a small promotion. Being up here is really fun. If you think you have something to say, and I think you probably do, contact your nearest worship associate about doing a service sometime. Gabby might even let you have input about the hymns. Really, it's fun. I've previously given sermons about being at home with little kids and raising older kids who are growing up and away from me. Now here I am, mostly on the other side of all of that. The last few years, I've been doing a long exhale after the minute-to-minute job of being responsible for 3 adorable human beings. And I've been able to concentrate on myself, on what I want to do now that the important job of raising children is just about over. What's next for me in this magical time of still feeling pretty good, of mostly having no one to take care of except for myself? There's been a shift. For a long time, I wasn't used to being the older person in a group. I was the oops baby, born 5 and 6 years after my brothers. I was the youngest in my family, and I didn't grow up with younger cousins around. But something happened in the last 50 years or so. I grew up, had kids, and got older. 50 years ago, my friend Kitty and I were almost kicked out of Brownies for bad behavior. It's true. It almost happened. Now I'm the straight arrow, the older woman who saw a UMBC student walking toward a squirrel while holding out food and told them, "Don't do that. Squirrels are wild animals. Don't do that." Something has changed. My mom once said that she feels like the same person. It's just that everyone else is getting younger. And that's kind of it. I'm walking through life just myself and suddenly realize that people must think that I'm middle-aged. For one thing, I've got this fabulous gray hair. There are negatives, of course. I'm slowly accumulating issues in this body that's been on the journey with me for almost 58 years. A few years ago, I developed tinnitus from mild hearing loss, and my ENT says that I'll need hearing aids by the time I'm 70. Was it the 3 rock concerts, REO Speedwagon, Journey, and Foreigner that I attended in the 80s? That's too late now. I have some floaters in my eyes that the optometrist is monitoring. Let's just say she's keeping an eye on them. My knee sometimes reminds me not to overdo my activity, etc., etc. How lovely. In addition to physical changes, many women say that they feel more invisible as they age. They spent their younger adulthood being noticed and admired, and now no longer feel seen by society. That does sound frustrating and hurtful for women experiencing this. Personally, I never looked like a cheerleader / sorority girl / model, and I'm pretty short, so my level of being ignored throughout my life has remained pretty constant. So that's a plus, right? Just as a side note, there's a great novel by Jean Ray called Calling Invisible Women, where the middle-aged women realize that a drug is making them invisible, and they band together to take on Big Pharma. Highly recommended. We can talk later. Speaking of losing something, I've lost track of a decent amount of popular culture. That was dramatic. While I'm savoring Taylor Swift's first pandemic album, Folklore, released in the fall of 2020, because I believe she had 3 during the pandemic, my kids' Spotify accounts are filled with band names I don't recognize. Heck, entire music genres that I've never heard of. Technology advances at a dizzying pace, and I grumble at younger folks glued to their phones instead of noticing the person right in front of them, noticing that the redbud trees are flowering. Did you notice the trees this week?
Yes.
Kids these days. So there are losses for sure. People really fuss about those milestone birthdays, 40, 50, 60. I had a friend who made a big deal about turning 40 a few years before I did. She had several events with friends. I went to the poker game where we all wore funny hats. The events were fun, but there was an undercurrent of, this is so awful. How can I be 40 already? I must throw myself some parties to cheer myself up. Of course, many people have some sort of midlife crisis. People freak out in various ways. Part of the problem may be them thinking, quote, at 40, I should be fill in the blank, successful at work, flying my own plane, on my way to being independently wealthy. But somewhere after chasing achievement, I think lies questions. Why am I here? Who am I here for? What does it mean? Beyond material achievement, I think that many people, on some level of consciousness, want to make meaning out of their lives. They want to know they're here for something. Your 20s and 30s can be full speed ahead. If middle age is a time to stop and take a breath, there is a reckoning with what people may see. It can be easy to be swept away thinking that this should be something grand, but there are so many ways to impact the world, to be a part of things. For me, my goals have gotten smaller. I pick up litter on walks. I try to be nice to people. I love helping people in my department at work get what they need to do their jobs. And I'm having fun going to protests on Saturday. These things make me feel like I'm here for something, that there's a reason for me to get out of bed in the morning, and most of them go beyond the transaction of work for money. My options are narrowing, and it turns out that I am this person. I remember the old dating classified ads, man seeks woman, that sort of thing, where it seems that everybody was looking for someone who loved to travel and walk along the beach. I don't seem to be that sort of person. I do enjoy traveling once in a while, and looking at the ocean is amazing. But I'm probably happier getting some stuff done at work, cooking dinner, and watching another episode of 6 Feet Under on the couch. Annie Dillard says, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. I remember when I first heard this quote, I thought, oh no, I need to start doing more cool things. Middle age is where I say, this is who I seem to be. There's that poster, be yourself. Everyone else is picked. I seem to be this person. Going hand in hand with this is who I seem to be, I find that I no longer care about many things. What some call their monkey mind, I call it my squirrel brain, whirs along a little slower these days. Last year, our beloved Maggie Neville gave me some fabric for a project I was working on. Now, I was taught that you always wash and dry new fabric before you sew, because it has that sizing in it, whatever that is. I emailed Maggie asking her if her fabric had been washed. Maggie's response, which she has given me permission to share, was, quote, you can do whatever is easy for you. I just don't care. I never wash my fabric because I just don't care. End quote. Now, I still wash the fabric. You have to. But I love the sentiment. I wore the same size jeans for years. It was important to me that I stay the same size, and I was very determined. I held on, and I did it. I stayed the same size until last year. I gave in and bought the next size up. Do you want to guess how much I care about that right now? It is important to me that I'm healthy, to eat well, exercise, sleep, but the exact size of my jeans, it no longer has the same hold on me, and that is a blessing. Downshifting my squirrel brain just a bit about what I now know is the small stuff of life feels good. I feel pretty good about my life. In the midst of such a difficult time, I'm still glad to be here. I know people get tired of, think of the alternative, but I think about that all the time. A good friend of mine from graduate school died of breast cancer in her early 50s. The guy she married, and we were at each other's weddings, turned out to be an addict who died the year before she did, and they left 3 kids behind. So while others are worried about laugh lines and cellulite, I'm honestly grateful that I'm still here, because many others don't get a chance to see 57 and a half, much less 60 or 70. I've been given that gift for more time with friends, for more flowering trees, for more birthday cakes. Our story for all ages today, I Wish You More, hooks into our monthly theme of joy. I wish you more ups than downs. I wish you more umbrella than rain. I love the simple things that the author wishes for the person they're addressing. Notice that they don't wish for a fancy car or for a house in the country. I wish you more tippy toes than deep. I wish you more hugs than Uggs. The book is about wishing for more good things for a person the author loves. It's not me. Aging is often couched in loss. There's no escaping that, and there's no reason for me to sugarcoat what is ahead for me. But I also see things I've gained. I feel grounded in who I am, having the perspective that comes from holding up a current experience against stuff I've seen before, and letting go of the things that aren't that important, that are the noise of life that may chip away at my contentment. This is not to say that I'm going to be stagnant. I want to continue to push myself out of my comfort zone and to have new adventures. As David and I see our kids grow up and out, our mothers need more help to live their best lives, and we have the time to support them. Things in my life are changing, and I need to adapt to these changes while remaining true to myself. I have people wishing me more treasures than pockets and more bubbles than bath. I am grateful. Amen. Please rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn number 354 in the gray hymnal, We Laugh, We Cry. Go forth. Take your rusty, bent old tools, friendship, prayer, conscience, honesty, and walk into the next stage of your life, remembering that you are not alone. Play poker with funny hats. Eat birthday cake. Be yourself. Everyone else is picked.
I'll be your water.